to everybody. I'm Camden. I'm sitting here with Sam and Deaven, the people that were on the episode last time. They're going to be here for all the episodes with me. And today we have two special guests, my parents, Chris and Hayley Johnson. You know them, you love them. Yeah, Deaven, take it.
Hey guys.
Hey, what's going on, Deaven? Sam, Camden, nice to see you guys.
Sammy and Cammy.
Cammy J.
So the first question that we're going to ask you guys is a question that we'll ask everybody who comes on the podcast. What Bible verse have you carried with you through your walk with Christ, and what's the story behind that verse?
Ladies first.
Okay, I'll take it. So there were several, and I was trying to figure out which one I wanted to use. But I think for me, I'm going to go with Ephesians 2:10, and that says, "For we are His creation, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared ahead of time so that we should walk in them." And I just believe that God created us for a purpose, and that's to share His gospel and to love others, and that He has prepared the way for us, and that we should always have that in our thoughts and in our minds, and so we should walk in that always, looking for ways to further His kingdom, but also walking in love and showing love to everyone we come in contact with.
My verse comes from Matthew. It says, "Some distance from them a large herd of pigs was feeding. A demon begged..." Oh, no, sorry about that. That's Sam's. Yeah. Actually, mine's from Joshua.
Thought it sounded familiar.
Yeah, very familiar.
You have good taste.
Yeah, thank you. Mine's actually Joshua 1:9. It says, "Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be terrified. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." That was a verse that really became a part of who I am in my journey back to God, in moments of feeling weak and just lack of confidence. It was something that really helped me through some things that I was dealing with in my transition back, letting go of some things that I felt like I had to hold on to for myself. And so it not only was a verse that was really important to me, but it's kind of just become something that, Hayley's given me gifts with this on it. I actually have a little magnet here that marks that spot in the Bible for me. So that's the verse that has really been an important verse for me in my life.
So the second question is, how did Hoosier HISteria start, and what was the idea you guys had whenever it started?
So Hoosier HISteria has been around, this version of it has been around for about 18 years. It actually started way back whenever Hayley and like the generation that's actually the adult volunteers now, so people like Valerie Smith and Emily Flater, back when Brooke was younger, that kind of generation, they had a camp. They always did it at McCormick's Creek, and that's where Hoosier HISteria came from, the name. I don't know how that name originated back then, but that's where it came from. And then when Brooke moved back to Texas, from Texas to Indiana, around 2006, I think, or maybe in 2005, whenever that was, and he was working with the youth program, he started organizing this again with Speedway Church of Christ and Unionville Church of Christ, which is Kent Ellett and Speedway, and then Alan Ketchersit at Unionville. So the three of them kind of collectively started putting this together, and then a year later, after the first one, that's when Hayley and I jumped in and started serving. At that time, when it first started, we had not been attending church at McKinley Hill very long and hadn't started volunteering. And so when they started it, and I don't know how far into the detail, Deaven, you want me to go, but when they started it, everything was at Turkey Run. And it was like that for, 2 or 3 years. And it was weird in ways and then good in ways that the way it operated. You stayed in these little cabins that looked like hotel rooms. So when you walked in, there was usually a couple beds and then a bathroom, just like a hotel room. And so that's where the students stayed, and the cabins were right outside of the hotel at Turkey Run State Park, and we rented a room called the Lusk Room, and it's L-U-S-K, not Lust, just so we're clear. That'd be weird to have church camp in a Lust room. But yeah, we met in there, and that's where we had all of our, what we do now for like in the morning, the teaching times. That's where we did our worship in the evening. That's where we got together and did family times. That was kind of what the sanctuary is for us now at Hoosier HISteria. That was that room. And then we had a big play area that we played, games in the afternoon, wild and crazy. I remember the game we played one year where I don't know if you were there for that part. Haley was in and out of some of this because our kids were so little. We put flour and pantyhose and had snowball fights. We did that here at Hoosier HISteria one year too.
Yeah.
And then, actually, I think we did it here. We did powdered sugar because we had someone that was
sticky.
gluten. No, it was gluten. But anyway, no kidding. That became sticky. Then
Sticky.
on the other side of the play area, which was a huge field, we had a shelter, and that's where we did our food. And every one of the churches, so Speedway, Unionville, McKinley Hill, we had volunteers that came in, and they'd bring crock pots and grills, and you kind of just had to figure it out. Sometimes we would order pizza from a local pizza place or sandwiches. So that was kind of the beginnings of Hoosier HISteria before we moved back to McKinley Hill. So I'll answer all of those questions. I just don't want to ramble forever. So, but yeah, that's kind of where it started. And back then we probably had a dozen kids, maybe. So it was really small, really, really small.
I think Peyton needs to bring back a few of those games.
Yeah, we do. It was a lot of fun. We did all kinds of stuff. One year we had the big outline of a boat, and they had a game that had to do with the boat, or that might have been the closing. But it was a lot of fun. I remember having Cale McCoy in my group. I feel like I had Isaac Reinl when he would have been a fifth grader, so that's how far back we're going. And we had a couple fifth graders there back then just so we had some groups because we were small. I can remember a lot of those kids, and there were, again, kids that came from Unionville, and there were kids that came from Speedway, a lot of volunteers that helped with it back then too. Some of the original, like you guys think of now, like Derek and myself. Liam's dad, Brian, was there. Robert was a part of it. Heather, Emily, Val. And there were many more that people you probably guys don't know. But it was a lot of fun, and it just kept building and building. We reached a point where we moved back to McKinley Hill. That's when we started doing the staying in the church. At the time, the boys used to sleep in the corner of the fellowship hall, opposite of like where you walk back to the hallway, and we had these old couches up here. They were like a big sectional, and we used that to be the divider, which was no taller than this table. It was not a divider. Another thing too, you guys realize a lot of the kids that came were a freshman and under when we first started.
Yeah.
We did not have a lot of high school kids, and so that's where the boys slept and the girls were up here. And then as we kept growing and growing, that's whenever we moved kind of to the other side of the downstairs, put up the tent. That's what most of you probably remember, putting up the tent frame and walling it off and using the hallway for the boys downstairs. So yeah, we reached a point where we weren't sure if we were going to keep going. That was when, I don't know how many years into it we were, probably 6 or 7, and we'd been here for a few years, and it was just a decision that needed to be made. Some transitions that happened here at church where some, leadership changes were happening. Brooke had moved from the youth minister into the senior pastor. It's whenever your dad became an elder, Sam, and just some different things were happening, and it was going to be a lot. And Brooke asked us what we wanted to do, and at that time, we really wanted to do it. Haley and I, Derek and Val, really wanted to be a part of it, to keep growing it, to keep working at it. And so that's really when we stepped into more of a leadership role, Derek and myself, and started doing more and more of the leading. And then over time, he and I've he took more on the worship side, and then I took on more of the logistics and the scheduling and that kind of stuff. So that's kind of a real, I could go on and on, but I'll back up a little or slow down a little. So
All right. So the next one is, was it different switching from leading it to going to the position that you guys are at now, the logistics?
I'd say for me, it doesn't feel much different, only because I was kind of support for Christopher as he led, and so really whatever he needed me to do or whatever was helpful is just kind of the role I took. And so I feel like with logistics, that's basically the job still, is, help things run smoothly, a lot of background work maybe that people don't realize is going on, things like that. So for me, it wasn't as big of a change or quite as drastic maybe, but I'll let you speak about how you felt about it. But for me, it doesn't feel too much different because I feel like he was more upfront, did a lot more of that kind of leading, and so I've always been more of in the background, I guess.
Yeah, it wasn't a hard transition for us to do because, like Hayley said, we did a lot of the behind-the-scenes things. It's a busy job, kind of in a different way than it used to be. Whenever I was directing every single year, I was up front. I was with the group a lot more. This job gives us a lot of freedom to not need to be where you guys are, so we don't always stay in the sanctuary during the teaching time. In the mornings, we're not always around for some of those things because we're preparing the next event or moving into the next thing. Really, for me, it was just laying down some of the things that decision making more than anything. We put together the schedule, and Hayley needs to take more credit than she's getting because her and I would sit in the mornings. That was kind of probably our favorite times with it, was in the mornings on like Saturday when we didn't have to work, where we would have these conversations. So we would put together the schedule, and so we, when Stephen came in, he took that and ran with it. And Stephen took really, before I gave up the director, he was helping me, assisting us, and kind of learning how to do that position. He took the TLs and the TLCs pretty early, even before the change happened, I guess, if you want to call it that, because he just kind of naturally just happened for him to become the leader. And so we didn't have to do that stuff anymore, and that was really, really nice. The only thing that we still would do is we still help put the groups together, mainly just because of our connection with the youth group. And so, and it's not hard. Stephen and Isaac could do that just as easily, but we do that. After we get that done, we give it to him. He runs the schedule. He does the planning. He tells us how he wants the schedule to go, and then that we fill in the pieces. And so, just to clarify logistics stuff, it's we deal with the money. We raise all of our own money for Hoosier HISteria. And so we're our independent as far as that goes. And so yard sales, fundraisers, taking in team fees, we still do that stuff, purchasing and that. So that's kind of the money side of it. We buy all the supplies. And then we also kind of help Stephen by, we take care of, now it's Emily, was Margie for a long time. We work with her. When Heather volunteered and did mission stuff, we communicated and worked with her. I deal with the campground, the bowling alley, the Kona Ice people. So yeah, that kind of stuff. Just, for a long time, Stephen was in Austin, so that was hard. So now that, now he's in Washington. So that's kind of how we help. That's the logistics. So, yep.
So what's the kind of like story behind the switch from leadership to logistics?
Well, I'll start that one. So I think Hayley and I had just reached a point where we realized that I think we had taken Hoosier HISteria as far as we could with our vision. It's not that we don't have a bigger vision for it. We do. We think that Hoosier HISteria can be huge. But I think just with age and time and also investment, we have given so much to it for so long that I think some of our ideas and the things that we were doing they can have a tendency just to become not stale but just monotonous, and you know, for an organization even such as Hoosier HISteria to work well, you got to be developing the next generation. And so we got to watch and see that happen in people like Stephen and Isaac. You're seeing it happen in some of the younger ones, even younger than those two. The development and the you know, with Tess and Audrey. I shouldn't say names because I'll forget so many people. But Peyton, we're seeing it with Peyton. You guys are going to do it. And if we're not building those positions and growing those kids up, then we're just going to stay stagnant and we're not going to grow.
Yeah. I think it felt like, too, we had done it for so long, and it got into a routine where we knew how everything worked well. And it was time for this, and the next thing was this, and the next thing was this, and it all had a really good flow, and it just was smooth and easy because we had done it for so long. And that's great, but in that, like Christopher was saying, you need sometimes like a fresh pair of eyes, or like someone that can step in and say, this is working really well, what if we try this? Where we had done it for so long, we just kind of got into a routine and everything just was always the same. And I think fresh vision is helpful in moving things forward. And so I think that's just the natural flow of things.
And that can be challenging too, because we have seen it succeed so well, and almost like we had figured out the combination of what we needed to do to make Hoosier HISteria work well. That being, you know, watching Stephen and Isaac and those guys take it, you know, there were times like, oh man, I don't know if I try that, but we just trusted it. We just said, nope, we're not going to fight them. We're not going to argue with them. We trust them, and they've been, everything that they've done has been right. And that's, some of that's probably my stubbornness, but I've tried my best not to step on them, because I think that they're so creative, and the way they see the camp and the way they see the students is so much fresher, like Hayley said, and it's also connection. You know, they're so much closer in age. I think that matters. I think that we lose the connection with students the older we get. Just pop culture stuff and what kids are dealing with from year to year when it's dealing with the themes. I mean, Stephen and Isaac are the ones that are really creative with the theme ideas. Really the last, I would say, 3 or 4 Hoosier HISterias has been them. You know, Reality Pursuit, you know, that was, I'm going to forget all of them because Sam's got a shirt on. Yeah. The one that we did this year, Tale of Two Kingdoms, that was an idea actually that Isaac proposed 2 years ago, if I remember right. Now we ended up going in a different direction with, what was last year, 24?
Built different.
Built Different, thank you. I know Reality Pursuit, then Built Different. They all run together in my head. And by the way, I have a paper with all the logos of every single Hoosier HISteria. I need to show you guys. But anyway, when Isaac proposed that one, again, this was Stephen and Isaac on a phone call. Brooke was on it. I was there. And it's like, we really like this idea, but what if we do Built Different? Because that was another idea to lead into, you know, the Tale of Two Kingdoms. And that, again, is just their awareness, their vision. And so I give them props. They are the right 2 guys for the job. And then what Lauren and Abby add to them, I think, just like Hayley adds to what I was doing whenever she was able to join me a little bit more consistently, is going to be good. I think Deaven, it wasn't as hard as it could have been. So props to everything there. So good switching.
I kind of just thought about this question now, though. Do you guys miss leading it?
I don't.
No.
Not to that max level, no. No. I was telling the TLs and TLCs long before we did that I wanted less and less up front. You guys know, you know, the youth group sees me all the time, and I wanted those guys to be not just Stephen and Isaac, but Tess and Audrey and Peyton and Thomas and Tyler Hess and, you know, Tucker and on and on and on the list of kids. Lindsay, again, I'm going to forget guys. Sorry if I forgot you. I love you. Well, I wanted them to get seen. I do, because the TLs and the TLCs is what makes this camp work.
Absolutely.
You know, we could put together prayer nights and we can put together worship sets and we can do all of those things, and it definitely is where, you know, those are the things that probably get the most props and the most, you know, that's my favorite part. But man, it's the TLs and the TLCs that have made this program work, and I just always wanted them to be out front. So no, I don't miss it at all. I love what is happening. I'll take, if there's people that are ready to move up into positions, I'll do less and less just to give them the opportunity to lead more and more. So no, we want it to be built that way. That's the way we want it built. So good question though.
And what direction do you hope Hoosier HISteria takes in the future?
So I'll just keep going with what Christopher was just saying, as far as I think the idea is for a natural progression of leadership. And so we're talking, you know, the youth that come then become TLs, TLCs, where we're wanting to take a lesser position. We've raise leaders up and fill those places in. And I think a big vision is to have even more positions. So not only is it 2 logistic people, but it's 2 logistical people that have a whole team that are just there that week to help make things flow well. Or, you know, you have Amy. Trish does a great job with our media, and someday maybe have our media person and then have a team, you know, and just find places to just bring more and more people in and produce more positions for people to be available to lead, I think is what I would like to see happen.
Yeah, agreed. Because, yeah, as you guys start graduating and come back, you know, I know everyone wants to be a TL, and I think that, you know, that's an awesome goal to have. But, you know, currently the youth program is building a band, right? And so it'd be nice to see at that point that's a team, that they're just doing the worship. I mean, for years, I don't know if Camden and Sam, I know you would remember, but if you were students when Johnny and Brianna Reeves were here, or Deaven, you know, they did that with us for, I don't know, 3 or 4 years. They came up out of Houston and did that with us. I would love to see that be something, not because we don't appreciate Derek, we do, and the worship team that we have now, but, you know, again, this is us just laying down what we've done for so long, because there are people there to do those things. So I'm with Hayley on that too, just continue to build. Big time vision, I know our church is working toward a building. I would love to get us here. I'd love to see that happen for Hoosier HISteria, where we're just 100% at McKinley Hill, like we used to be. Have a place and a space that we can do that fits our needs. I think that God's going to bless us with that. It's not at our schedule, and that's okay, but I think eventually that'll happen. So with that, I think it's just going to give us space to keep growing. You know, we made it up to 50 applications this year. That's some of the biggest numbers that we've seen. There was a year where we were a little bit more, but we were combined with another church, just kind of that 1 year. Moving forward, I think we could get to 60 to 70. That means we need more TLs, more TLCs. We need just space. That's the big one. So, you know, I think that the sky's the limit with this, that he don't put a lid on it. He's going to just keep letting it grow as long as we keep honoring him in it and what we're doing. So, yeah, I think Deaven, I think the future's big.
Now we have a podcast team.
That's
team.
right. See?
And see, this could be, again, to Hayley's point, this could fall into the media. I mean, you know, this is something that could be, I don't know what it could do. I don't know how to, dream big enough.
I'd love to have so many people that want to volunteer, that we're creating new roles, new positions, not just, teams, but
That's been one of the
new positions for people.
That's been one of the hardest parts of this, is it just because so many people have to wear so many hats in that they've had to have so many jobs, and it stays busy for some of us because of it. But I think we're getting to the point where we're just going to have at some point a team dedicated to our games, right? And then we're going to have a team that's just dedicated to the worship, and we're going to have a team that's just dedicated to maybe like the prayer nights. Where I know that you're only isolated to one specific part of the day, but what your part is, you can give it 100%. And we've done so well being able to do multiple things and still have really successful moments. But it comes with a lot of stress and anxiety and tired, for sure. And I think we've done so well at it for so many years too. I don't think you guys notice it, which is good. But yeah, I think we're there. We're getting really close, at least, for some of that. Yeah. What about Sam and Camden? You guys got any questions for us?
I didn't come prepared.
That's all right.
But
I think that was good. Good talk, good discussion.
What's it been like for you, Camden, to sit as a son of the leaders, directors, to watch that over the years?
I don't know. It's been definitely an experience. Part of it feels a little spoiled. I guess there's multiple ways I could use the word spoiled here. Like spoiled in the way of like, you guys are here with me the whole time. If I need more clothes, you run home and give me some shirts. And that's been last year. I think I had you go get me some bags for wet clothes.
Yeah.
Whenever I was going to be a sixth grader, you did that stuff for me. So it's been nice. You guys have always been here whenever other people's parents went. Made it real easy for me personally. And then another way to use the word spoiled, I guess, while I'm talking about it, is the week was kind of spoiled for me as a kid, especially then. Like, it was Hoosier HISteria was everything. I just still was very important, but like as a 6th and 7th and 8th grader, it's the whole year is that week. And so I'd come home and you guys would be talking about, oh, this night we're gonna do this, and like it was cool to know all that information, and I felt like I was an important little kid, like, oh, I know what we're gonna do this night, and it's March, but like it feels like once that happened, I was like, oh, I already know what's gonna happen, So in ways, good spoiled, bad spoiled. Got a little bit of everything. It was nice in ways, it was kind of annoying in ways. Like, it never felt super, like I wasn't experiencing it in the same way that other people were, other kids were, but I knew it like the back of my hands for forever.
Yeah.
So that has been cool. So I can't complain. It's been a ride. I wouldn't change it. So
That's our favorite, is listening to kids say how important it is to them. Whenever we hear that compliment that Hoosier HISteria is my favorite week of the year, that really meant a lot to us. It meant that was appreciated. That was actually one of the hard things for us to decide, because we were hearing things like that back whenever we were thinking about taking a break, and how important it was to them, and for us to think that, man, it wouldn't be here for them. And back then too, we were building it and serving, and our kids weren't even a part of Hoosier HISteria yet. And for it to take a break might mean that it doesn't come back. And that was a fear that we had, and I didn't want our kids to not, selfishly, I guess, our kids not to get to experience it. And so that was one of the motivators too, is I didn't want to know that the kids weren't ever going to get to be part of it, not just ours, but you guys, you wouldn't have been able to. So to hear kids say that it's their favorite week and that it means so much to them and that they look forward to it from when it ends till the next one, has always been, just warms my heart, makes us feel like it was worth it no matter how hard it was. And it is a lot of work, and it is a big part of our schedule, especially the closer you get to it. We start talking about the next one in September, and then we're meeting again in October, and we're talking about themes, and then we meet again in November, and we start talking about the curriculum. What are we going to teach about? And then we take a break for Christmas, and then we're back at it in January, and we're talking about putting the teaching team together. That's the new development over the last couple years. And who is your TLs and who's your TLCs? That TLCs first normally. I think Steven does it that way, which is good. And yeah, it's not all the time, but it's all the time. So, and it's good. We're glad that it's become what it has, that it's interesting enough that three buddies can sit around and talk about it. So
We added an extra day this year, and at the end of the week, they were chanting for adding another day.
Yes.
If we did that every year, we'd be going for the whole summer.
And I'm sure you guys see it too. Another thing that I've always loved about not just this camp, but our youth group and our kids is how quickly you guys connect with the people that are coming that aren't a part of our group originally. I see that not just in the students that come to youth group, but you know, you think about a lot of the TLs that are here now that are a big part of your lives. They're not all from McKinley Hill. You think about Tucker and Lindsay, you know, that came, Simon wasn't a part of our group originally, and you know, he wasn't a TL this year, but when he came back to help us, it, like, you know, became a part of your group. Everett now is a huge part of what we are at Hoosier HISteria. The Hesses, the list goes on and on too, of just people that weren't originally a part of our group that are now a part of our group. You know, our college group that meets, half of them are Hoosier HISteria TLs, and that's cool. Emma is another one, Emma Dickinson. So that's been the coolest part. Now I'm thinking of everyone that was a part of it, right? Kennedy Harden, she came 1 year as a student and stayed, just kept staying, and we're so glad. And that's the best part, like the relationships that Hayley and I have got to have with these guys and girls. You know, we met a lot of them through Chrysalis. That's kind of what was our connection to them. And then for them to come over and to be a part of it. And there's been a lot that have been here that have moved on, that have gotten married and started their lives. But I know Hoosier HISteria is still a big memory for them. So I'll keep talking, Deaven, so you're going to have to take a lead and cut me off.
That's why I told these two whenever this thing first started, I can go. Just cut me off whenever.
Yeah, we'll answer any questions you guys have.
Is that a good segue into Camden's part of this podcast?
I guess it could be a good segue, yeah. I don't know what the questions are, so I'm going to get blindsided, but I'll answer them to the best.
Oh, you don't have the questions? No. Okay.
What is it we're doing?
Q&A with Cammy J.
Q&A
It's a
with
new segment, Q&A with Cammy J. Yeah, let's do it.
Camden did come up with the title, too.
I did. That was on the fly.
Camden gets full credit for this segment. But
So we're just supposed to
I don't know.
David, did you bring
fire questions at King Cammy J?
I was going to write questions, but the Deaven was like, I got it.
Yeah. So,
But
I don't know.
Is
Here
this
we go.
Hoosier HISteria based questions?
It can be about.
don't know. It's
Well,
just a
yes,
wild card. I
After
don't
this
know.
episode, I guess I should explain that. After this episode, we're going to have our email linked. We're going to have a Google Forms linked. Any question about anything for any one of us on this panel, we'll make our guests known. So if you have a question for our guests, we can provide those as well. So without further ado, Deaven says he has questions for this first one, so I'll let him take this away.
Oh, yeah.
For Q&A with Cammy J.
So, like, I guess you kind of already answered it a little bit in the podcast, but your experience with Hoosier HISteria, like, how is that with, like, what does Hoosier HISteria mean to you, basically?
Well, obviously, I was even a part of Hoosier HISteria when I was a little tyke, you know, just a little kid, little
tyke.
baby, you know. Like Dad said, for the early ones at like Turkey Run, like Mom wasn't present the whole time because I was
A baby.
a baby, you know. So it's been around as long as I've been around, really.
Did the math.
So yeah, 18. Yeah.
Math.
The way you
So
make that sound, it's like Hoosier HISteria is because of you.
yes.
Maybe
No,
you've been
no,
around
no.
as long as Hoosier
No,
HISteria's
no,
been
no.
around.
It's just to put it into perspective for the people that don't know how old the thing is. It's my twin, you know. So, but no. Anyway, I digress. So yeah, it's been really cool. Again, I've been around it forever. You talked about like Johnny and Brianna. Like I wasn't a student for them, but I remember all that stuff very well. I can recall a lot of things that happened a long time ago whenever I wasn't. I had just started elementary school, and I remember things that happened to Hoosier HISteria. So, or like things about it. So, it's been my whole life. Again, my parents, obviously. I've always been kind of just around it, listening to it, hearing the ins and the outs, and then obviously as a student, it's been great. So, yeah.
What's your favorite memory of all of them?
Of
You only got
all
one left.
Of all of them,
Like event, prayer night. What like one thing that you'll never like you just the best.
man, that's a lot.
That was a nice question. I was going to ask too.
Oh,
Perfect.
good. If we're knocking
Perfect.
them all out. I don't know. I'm not necessarily proud of this, but my mind kind of goes to the Cabin Wars.
Cabin. Should we
Don't-
tell? I feel like should we
I-
tell that story. Or should we
I
let
don't
the
really
guys
know
review?
what me and the guys were thinking whenever we decided to do this and wreak all this havoc, but that's every single year. There's always a kid that's like, "Oh, the Cabin Wars." And I was like, "Yeah, it was awesome. And it was sick in the moment, but like looking back on it, like, man, that was ridiculous." But I'm always gonna go to that, I guess.
1
so.
a.m. raid.
Why would they bring up do it again? I'm like, that was a 1 year thing.
Yeah, that's not like
I don't think
people
it
have tried to
can't-
replicate it, but it's
can't
never
be
gonna happen again.
replicated.
Yeah,
it's
it's crazy.
a one of a kind moment, really.
So I guess the Cabin Wars. Now, if I sat here and thought hard enough, I could probably think of a better one that means more to me. But that's just
That's
always
just
it's the iconic one.
yeah,
you know?
it's the
So,
predominant memory, I think, for a lot of us.
Yep,
that
I
were
agree.
Involved.
I agree.
I guess I wasn't really even involved in that.
No, you were laying in
engraved
bed.
in my mind. Yeah.
Lying in bed. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a question for you. If anyone else has a question, blurt it out. I'm still thinking. But.
Yeah, come on, I can do it.
Out of your years at Hoosier HISteria, what's been your favorite worship song that we've sang?
Mm.
Ooh, wow.
I feel like it's just gratitude. I feel like that's the one that always comes on, and you're just like, like it never fails. Whether it's Tuesday, or I guess we don't go Tuesday night anymore. Sunday night, or whether it's Friday night or
We got
Thursday
you.
night. Sorry, I'm these days.
Any
I've been
night,
around
any
it
night.
again. I've been around it for so long. I can't get used to these days. But it don't matter. It's just like I feel like gratitude always just punches the hardest. And even this year, standing next to Sam in the pew, like Derek would start strumming like an old song that we used to do at church, like 2010s, and I'm like, man, this is from the vault, Sam. And he's
We
like,
were like,
man, I
"Throwback,
know.
throwback."
He's like, man, I'm not gonna make it through, and I'm like, I'm not either. And this is all these old songs from whenever we were kids, and so those are always good, but just the one that always is the hardest hitter is definitely gratitude, probably.
That's been a fun thing to watch over the years is when you put a song set together, you do Derek does a really good job of putting together songs that it's going to fit really well. And you never know what song's going to be the one that connects. But there have been some that have over the years. I can think of a lot of songs that Johnny and Brianna did that, like when I hear them now, I can only picture them doing it. But How He Loves was another one, the Crowder song.
Crowder,
that was
yeah.
always just
Mhm.
it always was a very powerful song. But yeah, and getting the opportunity for us to sit up front and watch the worship happen has been awesome. So I'm glad you asked that question, Deaven.
That was a good one.
Camden, what is diverting from Hoosier HISteria a little bit? What is your favorite youth group memory that you have?
Oh,
We're getting
no.
close to the end for you, so
Yeah, I guess that's a good way to put it. Shoot. Favorite youth group memory. I don't know. I always like the lock-ins. Those are always fun.
Mhm.
Like they're a lot, but lock-ins are always fun. Trying to think. Again, the iconic one is Cammy and Sammy. I remember
Yeah,
that very
that's-
vividly.
That's a good one.
Because I think that technically you were the one that's like Sammy's in the fourth square, and I would
Yeah.
I copied you a little
Yeah,
bit,
no,
but
it was like we were. I think it was mostly like older kids, pretty much, that were playing. It was
yeah.
like you and I don't. Yeah, I think it was. I was probably in 7th grade, and you were in 6th grade.
yeah, we were
And
little.
then,
Yeah.
Yeah, anytime one of us would move up, we would just be like, Sammy's in the 6th square, and then like you would do the same thing every time one of us
Yeah.
moved up, and then
Mhm.
it ended up like the grand finale. It was like, Cammy's in the middle,
Yeah,
and then it
the
would
good
just
stuff.
go from there. Yeah.
Yeah, and like I mean, even like whenever at camp this year, whenever Peyton asked us like the best point guard of all time, and we both simultaneously said John Stockton.
It was like great. It was a great pass.
Yeah, and then like your sisters were like Cammy and Sammy, like
Yeah,
it's just
Cammy-
always like
Cammy and Sammy still reigns.
yeah,
like,
it's
to this
that's
day.
that was like I didn't know it at the moment, but that's an all-time memory right there,
Yeah.
for sure. So yeah, I remember one time we downstairs in the foyer we had before the lesson we had like a bunch of like whipped cream or like chocolate in like a bowl, and it was like an eating contest, and it was like me versus like Brandon Brewer and like somebody else, and like I got a couple nibbles in, you know, like just like stuff like that, just the little games, and you know, I don't know. Hoosier HISteria is always like obviously I like going outside, but the winter games inside whenever it gets dark really quickly and you're like turn off the lights and there's creeping through the church, like just I mean I don't know. Even now as I'm a lot older than I used to be when I first started coming, like that stuff is still fun to me,
Yeah.
you know. So
I think like what you said about winter games, like in the moment, I'm always like, I just want to go outside. But
I
when
know,
you look back
yeah.
on it, those were a lot of
some
fun.
of the
like,
best games are
like,
the
like
inside
playing
games.
Gargon when it's actually like dark.
Dark,
outside is
yeah,
fun.
man. Yeah.
Trying to think of another one. I don't know. I don't think we weren't in youth group yet. But do you remember whenever like you, me, and Emma, and then like I can't think of who else would be playing with us. We would like turn off the lights in the sanctuary,
Mm-hmm.
and we would play like
The
I don't know,
Ghostbusters?
Ghostbusters.
Yes,
even though
sir.
I don't think any of us
Yes,
knew what
sir.
that was actually.
Heck no.
So
Yeah.
we would just like run around in the dark
Yeah.
sanctuary. I don't know how none of us like hit a pew or
Oh
something.
yeah, we could have broke
But
something for
it
sure.
was like pitch black. I don't know. It was fun.
I mean, I've crashed into more pews with the lights on than I have off, I think. So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I remember like white elephant gift exchanges too that we used to do. I remember one year I got like a snowman holding a plunger or something from Deaven.
Yeah, good stuff.
That rings out in my mind.
Yeah.
Do you
But-
still have that?
Probably somewhere, yeah.
You know that thing can sing to you, right?
I do remember that actually, yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I'm scared of the questions that my parents could ask, 'cause they could definitely pry some information out of me on purpose with some of these questions if they really wanted, I guess. But
What is your favorite Hoosier HISteria meal?
oh, that's a good one. If you know, you know. The chocolate eclairs. I mean,
That's the dessert. That ain't the meal.
It's not a meal.
Like I'm sitting here like, man, Margie made some really good pork loin. The mashed potatoes.
Chocolate eclair.
No,
Chocolate
it's
eclair.
just so the story behind the chocolate eclairs. Some of you watching might know already, but our group this past Hoosier HISteria, like me, Sam, Liam, Brandon, Trey, Austin,
Alex.
and Alex.
Mhm.
I saw the eclairs up there. I'm like, oh my gosh, guys, those things are good.
It's
And-
like graham crackers
and
and pudding.
and Liam's like, I don't think I've ever had, or I don't remember what Liam's position on it was. I don't know if Austin had ever had it. Trey hadn't. Brandon
I know you and I
hadn't.
and Trey were talking
You,
about,
and
yeah.
then Alex is like, what is that? It looks like cake. I'm like, it's not cake. And like I go and I like devour mine, and like Trey runs through his, and like everybody just destroys their eclairs, and like Brandon's like, it can't be that good. It's just sugar. I'm like, Brandon, and like Brandon like took a bite and was like, like was foaming at the mouth, and then Alex is like, you guys are talking this up. I'm gonna be disappointed with it. We're like, you go try it. And Alex had like 3, and like brought a plate of eclairs up for TLC time in here, and was like, hey, have you tried this? To like random people, like Alex loved it. Like I don't know, the chocolate eclairs were crazy this year. I don't know.
It was so
I
funny
remember
too because
that.
it was like it wasn't like quiet. People were
Yeah.
talking, but like we're like we finished our conversation. Now you just look at Alex and Alex is like, have you tried this? Is really
Yeah,
good."
well, like to like a 6th or 7th grade girl, he's like, "Hey, have you tried this eclair
The
before?" And
eclairs
I'm
are
like,
so good.
I'm like, "Are you kidding me, Alex? You were talking down about it a second ago." But yeah,
I feel like that's more of a memory though. Like
Yeah,
what, like favorite
yeah.
meal.
A favorite
like
meal?
food.
Damn.
Don't say the chocolate cake. I'm talking meals.
Yeah, no.
Like you looked forward to it every year whenever you know Margie would put the menu together. This year was obviously Emily, you know.
I mean,
We're
I always like
oh
the
man, we're having steak bites today.
Well, no, the pasta is always a big one for me. Whether that's spaghetti or I feel like we've had lasagna a couple times, and maybe even like chicken and noodles. Like just I guess noodles, pasta. Like
You guys, you talked about being spoiled.
That's the
You
big
guys have been spoiled with food.
yeah,
What Margie
For
did
sure.
for all of those years,
Not
you
normal
know,
camp
homemade. And she would bring in all of these ladies to help. You know, your guys' moms and grandmas that would come in and serve and make food all day or volunteer and make stuff. Yeah, you guys have been spoiled with your food. And now Emily's the same way.
yeah.
So it's
It's
yeah.
so good. Yeah.
Yeah, you're not eating the cafeteria lunch at the school where everything's wheat based. You're getting legit gluten,
Yeah.
sugar.
Be like one day of that, you know, like the last morning we just get like cereal boxes and stuff.
Listen, that's because we ain't got anything left.
Yeah.
That's Haley. That's so back to Haley and I are in charge of logistics. We do the last morning breakfast.
Yeah.
And that's what we do. Go get some fruit and some granola bars, Pop-Tarts, and then whatever's left over, you know, throw out some pancakes or whatever, and we can warm them up in the microwave.
To me, that's like the moment in my head where it's like, oh yeah, this is pretty much over now.
It's over,
Like we're having
yeah.
like cereal,
Yeah.
warmed up pancakes, and it's like, yeah, you know.
We gotta go.
That's
yeah.
what Friday or his Friday morning, what Saturday morning has become. I know we do some family time and stuff with you guys kind of at the end. You do a quick start. But we learned very quickly, and this is just experience doing this, if we can have the kids help us get stuff tore up, we won't have to be here as long on Saturday.
Right.
So as soon as we can get to mop floors, sweep, clean, whatever,
Clean the
vacuum,
toilets.
yes, put away
yeah.
tables and chairs. And I will say this, every time we've ever done that, it goes really quickly. We get done faster than we ever thought. And it's the same with the campground. We've always had good kids that would just jump in and start working. So, yeah, but I'm taking over again. But yeah, that's, yes, you guys have been spoiled.
Yes.
Definitely.
I agree.
What's your favorite subject in school?
It's got to be social studies, whether that be geography or history or government. Love it all.
Good.
Is
I'd s-
geography social studies, or is that?
I mean,
like,
I would assume I don't know what other subject
Yeah.
it would really
I
go
don't know if it
into.
would be considered social.
I mean,
studies or
it's
not.
just like
When
what
I went
things
to
are.
when I went to college for social science education major, there were 6 different categories in geography, history, psychology, sociology, government, and econ. All kind
I
of
guess
fit under that
makes
one
sense.
umbrella. Yeah.
like countries
Yeah, I
and
would
stuff.
assume it's so similar or the same.
Yeah, that's like a Northview. I've taken.
It's in the same hallway, ain't it?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've taken all 14 social studies classes at Northview, like including psychology and sociology. I've taken them all.
You can try to do the quiz bowl.
I mean, I've been told I've been a couple questions short every year, but I don't know if I would even go through it. Like even if I qualified, I don't know if I'd want to go up there and do it.
Is that the
just
thing you
'cause-
guys do at the school?
Yeah.
Not
Yeah,
what
it's
you
like
did
the-
at
it's like the
Greencastle.
Jeopardy.
Well, because I know for a
question.
fact I'm not beating Deaven Jones. So
Well, not with that mentality.
I don't think that there's a mentality I could have to where I would beat him.
Are you going to let Devin know that you just name dropped him on this podcast?
No, I probably could tell him. Yeah. But- yeah, it's got to be social studies.
I know this is to Camden, but like, what is your favorite, Sam, memory of Hoosier HISteria? I'm just curious because I'm
Favorite
here.
Memory. Well, I'm not gonna say Cabin Wars because that's already taken. Kind of. It's a really good question though. I think.
And Devin, I'll probably ask you too, just
Devin,
because
if
we're
you,
here
Devin,
and this
if
was
you have an
about.
answer, you can go ahead. But I'm gonna think.
Mine was actually this year with Camden and Sam. So I had my speaker going, and "Oh My Hope" by Crowder came on. And like we were just like carrying that tune. We were singing along like we could barely even hear the speaker because we were just singing to it. And they leave a little bit, and a little bit later they come back in with the speaker playing the exact same song later. And I think that was like Thursday night. Yeah, so that just became a thing that night for us.
Yeah.
But yeah, for context, It was in the shower too.
Your own showers, I hope, right?
Oh yeah. We were in our own showers. Yeah.
I'm gonna clear that one up.
Yeah.
No, yeah, because it was like we were all really tired, and it was just it was, I don't know, it was a vibe. I don't know about favorite, but this is just one that comes to mind. We were just talking about like the last day in the morning. We have our final like family times or whatever. I remember last year in our final day, my family, we didn't really know where to go. So we all crammed into that storage closet in like right next to the kitchen area, and we called it like our closet family time. And like I sat in a trash can. We all like tried to fit in that closet. It's a good time.
Yeah.
Not like I can probably think of a better answer, but that's just one that comes to mind.
Those are the things though
immediately.
that stay with you. You know, just what's awkward and like awkward that actually becomes memorable. You know, unusual, cool.
It's part of the slogan. Awkward is awesome.
It is right. Awkward is awesome.
Yeah.
I think maybe that should be a theme someday. I don't know. We have a awkward is awesome theme for Hoosier
Hey, the
HISteria.
20th Hoosier HISteria.
We're getting close, just a couple more away.
Yep.
When we did the 10-year anniversary, we
The
did
tour.
it, the Hoosier HISteria tour.
Mm-hmm.
It was like we, like a band tour, like a celebration. That was the theme.
I think that would be a cool 20-year theme. Awkward is awesome. I don't know what that would look like.
Yeah, I don't either. I'm sure that there's better minds
I mean,
than mine to come up with
there's
something.
time to think about it, I guess.
There you go, a couple years.
But-
Couple years. It's been great to see, you know, the growth of it. You guys were talking about the showers because, you know, we're at the campground now, but there was a time when, for those that don't know, when we were here at Hoosier HISteria at the church, we didn't have showers, and so you went to someone's house. And I know that there's been a lot of kids that talk about that's went through Hoosier HISteria, that was their favorite memory when they got to go to, you know, whether they came to our house or Haley's mom and dad's or up to Brooke and Anna's or all these different houses that hosted. And you would have, I know one memory house, Bob Hutchins. There were a few guy groups that went over there, and just things like that just made good memories and stories, and allowed the church to be a huge part of what we were doing back then. So yeah, I think that's stuff. You guys now have the campground memory, but before that it was someone's house memory.
Oh yeah.
Yep. I remember we would went to the Ristler's house like twice in a row. I think it was like me and Jonah and Brandon. I remember one time it was after like a long day of Wild and Crazy, I think, or maybe it was a pool day. I'm not sure what it was. But Isaac went to go take a shower, and we hear him like yell for a second, and then he walks back out with like, I think he was like, I don't know if he was like, I don't know. I don't know if it was before he finished the shower or after, but he was like, guys, look how sunburned I am. And his back was like cherry red. He was like, it hurts.
Yeah, those were cool memories. We always had a group that would come over to our house. I remember actually when Deaven, he was probably still in junior high, came over, and we had to make him take a shower because all he was doing was running around the house trying to catch our cat.
Right. So he walked in and he said, "I've never been here. You have a cat?" And the rest of the time, that's all he was doing.
Deaven running around chasing a
the
cat. We had like, Deaven, you ever get a shower? Yeah, I remember that. It's funny. It's funny. Cam, I don't have any more questions. I'm sorry.
No, that's
I'm
okay.
dried up.
That's okay.
I don't think we got any more either.
Knocked them all out of the park.
Yeah.
So,
good.
I was going to open with this, but I think I'll close it. So I was on our YouTube episode the other day, and I think we have like 60-some views already, and like up to 20 subscribers on here. So I wanted to thank you guys for that, the viewers and the subscribers. I want to thank Amy for helping us post around social media, and thank Amy again with Isaac for making the logo. They did really good with that.
Yeah.
That's great.
You guys are doing a good job. I was impressed by it last time when I listened.
Oh yeah.
Haley and I listened together. You guys really did a good job. Very proud of you.
It'll only get better.
That's
'cause
right.
I'm trying some new stuff for the first time. We'll see how this goes, but
Are you making my voice deeper?
no.
Oh.
So like these two gold microphones, I had to switch Camden for his segment because it's like recording quieter. We'll just see. May have to fix it in post. I don't know, but it'll be better than last time. We'll see.
I listen to professional podcasts all the time, and they have things like that happen to them too. So you guys you're learning. It's gonna be good.
What, this isn't a professional podcast to you? Come on now.
It's on its way.
Yeah, okay,
Sam,
that's
we'll
fair.
get
We're in the
there,
minor
yeah.
Are you
leagues.
telling me I've been on auto-tune this whole time?
No. Probably could figure that out if you wanted it. Welcome, guys.
I want to see how this lays over with the video. We're like
yeah.
watching like a Japanese ninja video where their mouths are moving and then they got
Yeah.
English over top of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, unless there's anything else on your guys' minds, I think we have a lot to post here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
So,
Thank you guys for being on here.
Thank you for inviting us.
Yes, thank you.
Camden, you
Yes.
started this up. Do you want to close us out? Give us a little outro.
Yeah. Thank you guys for watching and listening. Stay tuned. We'll have episode 3 here shortly.
Well,
Hopefully.
a couple weeks probably.
Couple. I guess that's true. 2
Yeah,
weeks.
good. All right. Thanks for watching.